WIFTV-PM.
We wake up every day to these tests as we strive to be great, and they keep coming, but we gotta persevere, y'all. Yeah, yeah. Thin line, mastermind. You sure looking good tonight, baby. I just wanna make sweet love to you tonight, baby. If you don't mind, let me tell you. Hey there, sexy lady of my dreams. Can I have you here with me? I just wanna love you down. Yeah. I'm making you scream my name. Oh, loving your body. I'll be kissing your body, and I'll be caressing your body. Oh, baby.
Nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empowerillinois.com.
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in today. Father, we don't need to escalate. War is not the answer, 'cause only love can conquer hate. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. I wanna know what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Mother, everybody says that we're wrong. Who are they to judge us? Simply because my hair's gone. Oh, no.
WIFTBPN.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Juke-a-thon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I'd be done had a heart
You
attack.
gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Good morning, Chicago. The time is now 6:11 a.m. and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland sports, weather, and traffic update. In sports, baseball, Giolito and the White Sox beat the Cardinals 8-3. Cubs hold on to a slim victory 4-3 as they beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lakers get they lick back to get even 109-103 against the Suns. Nets cruise past the Celtics 130-108. Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavs take both victories against the Clippers in LA and now shift back to go home with the commanding 2-0 lead to Dallas. Now on the traffic. In the Kennedy, inbound, O'Hare to the Loop, 30 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare, 17. Eating, inbound from Deerfield to Exchange, 40 minutes. Outbound, Exchange to Deerfield, 29. Eisenhower, inbound from Thorndale to the Loop, 29 minutes. Back out to Thorndale, the same. Stevenson, inbound to the Dan Ryan, 34 minutes. Bishop Ford, inbound to the Dan Ryan, 52 minutes. Dan Ryan, 19 minutes to the Loop, 11 minutes back to 95th. Today's weather, it is currently 66 and raining. Morning showers, but the sun is set to come out this afternoon with a high of 82 but a low of 57. Tomorrow will be a high of 81. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now, here's the Maze Jackson Show.
Ruthie Moore for Todd Stroger. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I don't got my co-host Todd, and we waiting on Ruthie. But I got my man, DJ Reese, the ruler in the building. Reese, how you feeling this morning?
That's about the best. You already know the rest. How you doing?
All right, man, I'm good, man. I can't complain. I
You
can't
look a little
complain.
woke right now. You look like you still, trying to get the energy into you right now.
You know what, man? I am. Some days I got it in the morning. Some days I don't. Yesterday was a big. It's one of my long days. So I had. I went out. So my son had basketball. I also had to go to the first village board meeting in Robbins last night. So usually at that point, I don't get home until about 10 o'clock. And if I don't get home till 10 o'clock, then I really don't get in my wind down cycle, right? Because it's like I got to take a moment to just come all the way down and get to sleep. And I feel like even if I get into bed at my regular time, I'm not all the way there. And so it'll take me a little minute. Plus, I haven't really been tipping on my coffee this morning. Sometimes when I got a system, and I think my body, if I get off that system, it just be like, whoa. Now let me let y'all know I am a professional here. So I'm always make it. I'm always do my thing. And then when I don't got my counterparts, right, to bounce off to, Todd, I can make fun of him. Ruthie comes in with the energy ready to box, you know what I'm saying? She be, good morning. And so all those things add up to me getting to the point of my but it'll come. It'll be good stuff today. I ain't even tripping. This is the Mace Jackson Show. Yesterday Todd called me text me at 8:30 talking about he overslept through the alarm. Good thing. Like, no apology. No, it's like, and I guess I can't even trip because, when a brother get a job, they act a different way, right? They be like, they really be like, you ain't paying me. I got somewhere to be, right? So I ain't tripping on Todd, Then, see, this morning he texted me, or did he text me? This morning he texted me at 4 o'clock or something, talk about some Thursday. He ain't even like, he just said Thursday. And I know why, because he had that board meeting last night. So he was at the board meeting, and he got sworn in. He was sitting at the desk, doing his thing, and I was like, oh yeah,
You know, Todd is usually asleep by this. I know if I'm usually asleep, Todd is knocked out. So I was saying to myself, oh yeah, he ain't gonna come. But I was just, he could have just told me last night. But see, this is how black folks do you. See, what they don't want you to do is have nobody sitting in their seat. So they guard it, right? So they wait to the last minute because he don't want nobody to get over there and start getting comfortable. So, he tell you last minute so you can't plug nobody in the seat, put him in the chair, and then to keep you off balance. He going to come in there one day, it's going to be somebody sitting in his chair. He going to be like, I'm going to do somebody, I'm going to put somebody like Tyrone Muhammad in this chair. So they be like, take that back. Now so I'm going to tell you what we are going to do. I am going to be not auditioning. I am planning on I want to get some new talent at the station, man. I feel like we've been doing really good in the shows that I'm really actually super proud of our nighttime lineup. It is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It is Wednesday. Now, we're not going to have Brian Foster today. So there won't be any In the Zone, so I'll probably just do a rerun for that. But we got Chris the Critic. We got In the Zone. And then, we got, man, Reese, we got to figure out how I'm going to term. It's like week old Wednesdays. That's what I'm gonna call it. Week old Wednesdays.
I just call it WHW.
It's tonight, man. Reese, because I know some of our early morning people don't know very much about what goes on late at night. Sometimes I have to turn it off because I be like, whew, that's tense. That's hectic. But I'm an old guy, man. I realized y'all made me feel super old yesterday. We're gonna talk about that too. Since we got a little time, we're gonna keep the plane on the flight. Cause y'all had me feeling the kind of way yesterday. Y'all really did. Like I feel like the world is just different for me now. And I was listening, so I put in the J. Cole CD. I was rolling to it. Yes, not CD. Listen to me. Jake, see, I tell you how old I am. I popped on J. Cole on Tidal with the expectations of rap greatness. I was like, this is garbage. Garbage. I was like, garbage. And my son, I was like, and everybody like, he's so enlightened and he's so, and I'd be like, and I was listening and I was just like, and my son was bobbing his head and he was all, and I was like, yeah, I was like, this is whack. And he looks at me like I'm crazy. Now, I'm glad that he's listening to J. Cole, right? Because there is some level of consciousness to it. It ain't like straight like Lil Durk and Uzi. Like, I ain't tripping. I realize kids gonna do their thing. But Reese, I've come to the recognition that I don't know if it's my time has passed, because I can't say that. I just recognize
it's a new era.
I don't know if it's a new era. It's just my era is different, and I don't know how much blending I want to do. Right? Like, I feel like, I was talking about my man Big Swill got a little spot, it's private. And, he was going back and forth whether he was going to make it members only, blah, 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 blah. And I come to the recognition that I ain't for everybody. And I think I'm now officially okay with that. Like, I found, because yesterday, man, y'all really had me, man. And I feel like I thought that maybe, because the comments was going different and I couldn't really see, I was like, man, am I that old? Am I that dated? Am I that out of touch? But then, Reese, I was thinking about like when we thought we was balling, like balling, right? Like when we was getting money and we wasn't. We did a lot of the same things. I ain't gonna front. When I was younger, we smoked in the car. My cousin and them smoked in the car. So they smoked in the car, so they had no choice but to smell like whatever they went into. And instead of being embarrassed, they was like, what? What you gonna do? Right? So I do realize, I've moved from judgment to just realizing like, dang, I straight up am old. Now let me just say, I now understand why those people were looking that way. And I posted this stuff yesterday, and I really come to the recognition that it's a age thing. Yeah. And I think But the other thing I think is, Reese, I wasn't eating at 19, 20, 21. I wasn't eating at $300, $400 steakhouses, right? Now, not to say that anybody deserves anything less or more or whatever, but I never really, like, I feel like, man, y'all, like the young people, like that was aspirational to me. And so I do think there's a proper time and a place for everything. I think that my move, there's a part of me that enjoys the rebelness that we can be somewhere and disrupt white folks in their comfort zone. You okay? Disrupt white folks in their comfort zone. But I'd be like, dang, I do like to dress up. I do like to go out. I do like to look nice. And I like to look fresh, not for the other people, but for myself, for the way it makes me feel when I'm doing. But y'all really made me feel old yesterday. I was like,
No, you just the people that used to say stuff to you back in the day. You know, it's just role reversal. Soon I'll be telling my son the same thing and my daughter the same thing. You know, with age, become a little bit, knowledgeable. It's not that we don't like to, dress up. Like, I love to put a suit on. That's what one of my favorite pictures I ever got on is with a suit on. But I just think now is we don't really define like a suit as like this is this attire or it's more free. Like if you want to dress, in the $400 or $500 jeans and a shirt, to us and right now, it just seemed like it's good. Maybe in 20 years we'll be like, oh man, I look at stuff from when I was in my early 20s like, oh my God, what did I have on? You know what I'm saying? But I probably did, like you said, I thought I was fly and thought I was this, but I can tell myself, no, take it off.
So I'm going to say this, right? Like, we was talking about this yesterday. Does the fact that you spend the money on the item make it qualify? Right? So like if I got on a pair of $800 sneakers, and I'm going to call them sneakers. I'm a Chicago gym shoe dude, but I'm going to call them sneakers. If I got on a pair of $800 sneakers, is that equivalent to, does that outweigh an $85 pair of Stacey Adams Shine? Right? And I guess it just depends on the venue. Right? Like, I think if you walk into a sneaker ball, you win. If you walk into a gala. I tried to do that one time. I tried to wear Jordans to a gala. Like what's the Jordans? The ones with the ones that were supposed to be made like tuxedo shoes. I was just wearing them the other day. The ones with the patent leather on them and in the white. Yeah. And I wore them and the people was looking at me like, now I thought I was kind of fresh, but I did feel, not even because of the other people, I felt like I missed. Like I was like, I had a bomb tux, the whole you dig, it was super great. And I was like, yeah.
And you had some black and white, and you had some black and white. Like, you probably looked at cold.
I was like, yeah.
You probably looked at cold,
I felt like I missed. I was like, that would have been for 20 years ago. That's all. Yeah. I feel like I could have seen this. Like I would have did that for my son, and been like, you freshened him up. But I don't know if I could do it no more. Right? I've come to the recognition that I cannot shop at DTLR. I cannot shop at Tops and Well, I can when I'm trying to be the cool dad. But I have come to the full effect that I've just decided that I'm an older man. And I am no longer, I feel like, I remember cursing C. Dolores Tucker out for Tupac, with Tupac. Now I'm like, Dad, that C. Dolores Tucker was right. This NWA went down the wrong path. All right, y'all, it is the Mace Jackson Show. That's my man, Reese the Ruler. Check him out tonight. Him and, I'm going to tell y'all what. I'm kicking, if I don't physically meet Toy, right? Like, if y'all don't schedule a meeting, you see that thing out there right there where it says schedule a meeting? Y'all fit in the talent box. If I don't meet it's gonna be a rule. You cannot be on the network if I ain't met the personalities.
Just not. You met her just not.
Hey, y'all schedule me a meeting and then Ruthie, they scheduled a meeting.
She has school.
And then I come to the office and they gonna be virtual. Like I'm sitting in the mug, like I'm all here, like okay. I've told them that I'm going to be here, and now I feel like I'm old.
It started in a pandemic, though.
I was just gonna say, Ruthie, Todd defense, COVID was still out, you know.
It was like it was real. Now it ain't real. It's real no more.
It sure ain't real no more. You heard that the Bears said this full capacity. They on full tilt next year.
Teams.
Ruthie, in the bill.
Good morning.
See, Reese, that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
What?
This how it starts. He said I came in this morning and I wasn't my normal not perky because that ain't me.
It's dreary. It's raining.
I said that I didn't get my morning. You know, I can't make fun of Todd and Ruthie be usually coming like, if it ain't Monday, she be like, good morning. And right, and it's like you came in like, and then you got your jean jacket up. Look,
it's cold.
Not turning the heat on.
No, not in here, just outside.
I'm gonna tell you, I was scared to wear my shirt too much longer outside because I thought it might shrink on me. Because it was like, bing, bing, bing. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, because of the rain?
The rain. Well, actually, it's a good quality shirt, though. You see, it's my May said shirt. All right, look. Well, we got Ruthie here. Hey, Ruthie, you know, let's start. We got to start auditioning for Todd Spot. I'm just telling you.
You ain't printing this paper, so you must know you wasn't coming.
Oh.
No, I knew at 5 o'clock when I got in the car, or when I got in the car, I was pulling up, he was like, Thursday. All the text said was Thursday. Right? I was like, straight up, that's how we do now. But I knew yesterday, Ruthie, because Ty got sworn in last night.
See, he trying to adjust.
I understand that. He got to coordinate, though. I be like, man, hey, can you, Ty got his they got a new village, a village human resources manager.
I thought you was going to say fashion consultant.
Well, that was really going to be my point. Because I sat behind both of them. And it was like a taller and smaller version of the same suit jacket. And like, I was like, where y'all, did y'all go back? Like, I felt like I was looking at Todd circa circa 2002. And it was, I was sitting behind them like, and you know, like they both kind of, they both had kind of the same, okay, I'm going to stop making fun of them. But it was kind of funny to sit
that's
behind
why he don't want to come back.
No, he want to come back.
He got a suit on. Look at that. He put a suit on, and his suit.
And he still get. Well, I was gonna say, man, y'all gotta get a tailor, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, COVID has been doing everybody in. Like COVID, I think everybody had a closet full of clothes that may need to be expanded a little bit. I think that's all that happened, man. I think COVID just got a lot of people. It is the Mace Jackson Show this morning. Hey, y'all, it's DUSABLE Day in the City Council. You know about that? Today, they are voting to change the outer drive to DUSABLE Drive. Now, here's what we got to find out. Is the mayor going to try and thwart it? Will the mayor try and Alderman David Moore said her latest offer is change it, and we'll change the name of the Dan Ryan.
To what?
To DUSABLE. Now, here's what that smacks to me, though, Ruthie. She will do anything to protect them white people from having DUSABLE on their north side. That's why they'll give you the Dan Ryan because that's the South Side Highway. They want to keep the tale two cities. I want every day when the white people get off the traffic, they gotta say, "Yeah, I gotta get off at DUSABLE West."
You know it's gonna be Lakeshore. Like, come on.
They gonna move it back as soon as Lori gone.
No. What's the tallest building here?
Willis Tower.
Yeah, but you almost said what? The what?
No, I'm doing like y'all did me yesterday. Nope, Willis Tower. I'm doing y'all like y'all did me yesterday. Willis Tower. I've changed.
But it's all with the Sears Tower, right? It's the Sears Tower forever.
Y'all turned me into an old man. Y'all made me feel like Django. What's the dude in Django yesterday? The other dude. Well, Samuel Jackson. Y'all had me feeling terrible about my church clothes.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, dang.
Don't sleep in the big house?
It ain't the clothes.
I was like, he was like, I be shining I was thinking about my shiny buttons. And I was thinking like.
This slave. Slave is my ass. How you get dressed now? Slave, nope.
No, I'm like, I can't wear that. No, I'm gonna be wearing camouflage every day. I'm gonna be like t-shirt and jeans. I'm like, I'm not a slave. That was personal.
You said you don't even be going to church no more.
I do sometimes. I go to Joe Osteen.
Ugh.
I ain't even tripping. Joe, my cousin go to Joe with me though.
Ugh.
Me and my cousin be right at Joe.
You know, I'm mad at him still about the hurricane stuff, but he wouldn't let them people
Hey
up in
man,
there.
they ain't want to wash rinse their feet off before they walk through the church, man.
See,
they spend a lot of time building that church up. That's the house of God.
We gotta have a suit and sneaker ball. I see. That's what we got to mix it up. What you think? What's in it for the black people? Suit and sneaker ball.
Let me tell you, I did a sneaker ball on the Tom Joyner cruise. It was pretty cool. Like we all had on tuxes, and then we wore like gym shoes, and we killed it. Me and Carrie killed it. We killed it. I think we did Adidas. I think we was doing the old school Adidas move at the time with the shell toes.
Right, look dope.
We always when we do it. You know, Carrie be like, excuse me. Like, don't let it be no type of, I be like, please God, do not have a theme party at all. Cause she will go to Target and come back. I'll be like, where do they sell that at Target? And she will come back and be like, don't have, I'm telling you, and I got this feeling that everybody is going to have all types of creative parties. And said Jay was gonna do a Avengers photo shoot, but he couldn't get enough people to do it. I'm down to do that though. I think that would be fun. Like the Black Avengers, like everybody get like a high tech costume, and then we take the pictures as the Avengers, and then but he do like them, you know, them photos, and we be like, da-da-da.
Like the action photo.
Yeah. I want to do that too. I want to do a What's in it for the Black People photo shoot. And I think we got to have a What's in it for the Black People concert. Dawn is already putting together the block party, but I feel like we got to have a Dante Hall show. Like I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna be Dante Hall's backup.
I talked to him yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I talked to because like I said, I didn't even know.
Dun,
I'm
dun, dun, dun,
like,
dun, dun,
what's going
dun,
on? I'm like, man, you know you on my show every morning. He like,
yeah, I do. Quite frankly, he was like, actually, I do. They love me there. He's like, you know, don't you hate when you tell somebody you be all excited for them, be like, I'm already a star over there. Like they be like, yeah, I'm already good there. That's good. Yeah, shout out to Dante Hall though. Shout out to all of the music on Wiftable Media, man. I can't wait for the music show. Body of the 12-year-old. I don't know if you all been paying attention to the story of the 12-year-old who disappeared. He walked into the was it the Little Calumet River in Hammond, Indiana. They lowered the river and found his body. He was autistic 12-year-old, got away from his grandma who was asleep. They found him apparently drowned. But it is, first of all, I want to commend the city of Hammond for their efforts to recover. I mean, they shrunk the river. They dammed the river to shrink the water to find the young man. So I think at least they bring the family closure. The Illinois Democrats are remapping the Supreme Court districts apparently to recontrol the court. Currently, there is with the resignation. You know, the last Supreme Court justice got put out because he was associated with Madigan, and it essentially made the court within striking distance of Republicans gaining control of it. Mm-hmm. They're going to remap it. Don't think about that. Sit your before I make change. Y'all know nothing about that. It's a lie. Y'all ain't even up on New Jack City. Kid.
Come on now.
Hey, don't do it. We from the VHS era.
Right. Come on, man.
Don't do us.
Can I tell y'all that was my first bootleg? Very first bootleg videotape I ever had was New Jack City. Shout out to David Gates, who of the world famous Gates brothers. His brother was the Will Gates from Hoop Dreams.
Okay.
First time I was ever in the projects too. I got Cabrini Green row houses. Man. And what's so crazy is, you know who took me? State Rep Cyril Nichols. He a state rep now.
If they only knew, huh?
He was my dean.
Oh, look at that.
He was my like, you know, we were the last line of all fraternities in the country to cross old school. Like, they had the press conference 2 hours to ban pledging 2 hours after we crossed. We crossed on
Pledging is banned? What year was it banned?
September 1st, 1990.
I crossed in 08.
08. What's that?
You sure? You sure it was banned?
What y'all did, I'm not gonna, no. So, no. I think that y'all, I think that there is a rebirth. Like I saw the end of it, or like the underground, and it seems like it's coming back. Like there seems like, I think that there's some regalness that comes with pledging the outside out, and I think people recognize that. And I think that there's a return to some pieces of it. I think it's the physicality that people don't necessarily want you to see as much. I remember though. Yeah, we had that death march. Whew, goodness. It was in the newspapers, everything. They tried to stop us the whole you dig. Shout out to Surreal Nichols, always fighting for the freedom all the way back in 1999. He's a state rep. Who would have ever thought those dreams we had talking back in 1990 would come true in 2021? We couldn't even imagine the 2000s. Lori Lightfoot did a whole interview yesterday on Channel 7 on George Floyd. I'm trying to decide, do I want to play it back? I want to play it back for y'all because it's kind of fluffy. How do you think she would reflect on that a year later, George Floyd? I know she like, man, I bet if there's anybody who cannot stand George Floyd right now, it is Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Because George Floyd really spelled her demise. She was on a roll. She was the queen of the world. I was mad in the mug and couldn't do nothing about it. Because y'all was loving the memes. Y'all was like, Lil Lord, Lori, the whole thing. And then George Floyd came and messed it all up. And the emperor no longer had clothes. 86-year-old woman shot while watering her grass in North Lawndale. In Garfield Park. Excuse me. Unfortunate. That's 86 years old. Imagine making it to 86 and you watering your grass. Get shot. Like, no rules to the game. No rules to the game. No rules to the game. And I got to say, I was watching The Wire last night. Whew. No rules to the game. I remember when Omar was like, no shooting at church. Yeah. They was like, man, I don't give a. It's no rules to the game no more. None. Nothing. Nobody's off limits. Nothing.
That's the same in relationships and stuff like that.
What you mean?
People don't have ain't no code. Nowhere. It's permeated throughout. It ain't just the streets.
Black men don't cheat, so.
Thank you, Reese. Thank you, Reese. Right.
I wasn't even talking about those types. I was talking about all types of relationships, not just like romantic ones. Most relationships ain't no code, ain't no honor, ain't no handshakes no more. Huh? So why would it be any different for the street? Same in politics, ain't no code. Damn. Got people wearing wires.
Dope.
I'm just saying, ain't no code.
Man,
got people stealing emails. Ain't no
that's
code.
The new code. They got the code. That's how they stole the emails.
Those are digital cartels. Ain't no codes because ain't nobody following no codes. So if you can find people that follow codes, you should probably stay with them. Stick by them.
I like it.
I like it a lot. She came in here dry. She came in here with the look. She got the dry philosophical face on today. It's like,
I mean,
I'm Ruthie dry today, and I'm gonna tell you it's what it is.
I mean, we just got a lot of issues to work through.
We do.
1 year after George Floyd.
The worst thing I ever seen, man, and I wish I could put this picture up. So I'm over some friends' house right after. I think George Floyd's probably like a month or two after. So they get in there, and so they started to. My cousin, as May said, started to roll his weed, but the weed bag had George Floyd on it. I kid you not. I got
and I bet Muggs was like, "Oh, this is kill."
No, everybody in there was like, "We are not smoking that." I promise you. Everybody's like,
"Where was what?"
I swear to you, people's like, I was like, "Is this your package?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Bro, you can't be smoking this." Like black people will make a success. Like, I got that new George Floyd. And
yeah, but the real gag is where's that manufactured?
By the white man.
Or by the non-white man. Might be the Asian man or the Indian man.
And where they get the dig from. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
What kind of Wednesday is this finna be? Rain, go away. Come again another day, because, man.
We don't even manufacture our own weed bags.
Oh, so look, we getting ready to talk about this. Let's do this.
Now they got a whole packaging part to the marijuana industry.
I'm so disgusted. Can I tell you? Does anybody driven in the city of Chicago? Has anybody driven and seen any of the 14 by 48 digital billboards that are surrounding downtown? Every single one of them is advertising weed. Get the new Come to the Jungle. Get the, like, all the stuff that, you know how brothers used to be like, man, get rocks and blows. Or get, you know how brothers used to be like, man, go on Jackson and Pulaski. Go on, right? They straight, it's like they're advertising weed spots, but legally. And then they got like code names. Like, so they literally got G4, G5, and it's like straight up, they took your whole joint and repackaged it and gave it back to you, and now they selling it to us, and Negroes are headed to the dispensary.
For double.
Shout out to Tyrone Muhammad and support your local weed man. I really do believe, I do. If I was writing a movie, some of these white boys would be in the trunk. Like, I feel like there's no fear of like, I really wish I could write this movie. Because this is crazy. But you know what? Let's do this. Because Ruthie's here. We ain't getting tired. So let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie, Blue Jean Jacket Moore. Shout out to Reese, DJ Reese the Ruler. Y'all check him out tonight. He got Week Whole Wednesdays. See how I said that?
Every Wednesday. That's it.
Y'all gonna take a break though. Everybody gotta take a break. Y'all gonna take a couple weeks off. Everybody gotta take a couple weeks off.
Oh, I'm ready.
We gotta take us a summer vacation. Everybody need to sleep late. Everybody need to stretch out. Everybody need to walk around. Everybody need to. Some days, I think these people, they love you, but they may not appreciate you. So we gotta give them some. You know how like Tom Joyner used to be like, and the greatest of Tom Joyner. You're gonna be hearing the greatest of we're gonna have Ruthie Moore's greatest hits. We should just do what we should do is cut up a whole bunch of shows, mix them all up, and then throw them together. Mm-hmm. Right? And then be like Ruthie's greatest quotes, like Ruthie versus Todd. We should do, you know what? When I have my vacation, no, I ain't. I'm lying. When I have my vacation, I'm just chilling.
Don't take long.
It don't?
No. You can do it on your iPad. Like when you be seeing me like do mine, I cut, edit it, all on your iPad.
See, here we go. Y'all making me feel old again. I be looking at stuff. Sometimes when I do stuff now on the computer, I be like, this is too easy. This can't be right. I be like, this is too easy. It can't be right. I'm just saying, like, even when it comes to making videos and editing and all of the stuff, I feel like if I haven't sweated super hard and stressed to do it, that I haven't done the work. Which is really weird because, yeah. But it goes to you millennials making me feel old. Like, Ruthie, I don't know if you heard, but I did say I'm old. I've officially accepted. Yesterday, after listening to J. Cole with great expectation, I realized that I'm past my era.
You know, a lot of us didn't like the album though. It was all right. Like people
was talking about this album like it was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like I thought I was gonna get Reasonable Doubt. First of all, when they opened up with Cameron, I was like, this is the end for me, cause I hate dude. No, it's a long story, but yeah, they still owe us $8,000. We hate dude. Nah, we stayed with Dame. I mean, we stayed with we was with the J side. There's no Camerons on there. When we split, when the split happened, we split with we took the other side, and then then the rock never came back to the way it was. But yeah, like, oh no, we had they got a whole video about our get down in Chicago. It like we was banned from anything that had to do with them. Like we were the street team for Power 92 at the time. And they had written in their contracts that we could not come. Like, we could not be within 3 miles of the... Yeah, Joe. It was proof. It's like, that's written. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the last we heard of Houston's restaurant, the Sutton Place. So, y'all remember the Sutton? Man, long story. But, yeah, no. When I heard that, I was like, J. Cole, you lost me. And anything from there was down.
It's about
I ain't
three
listened
songs.
yet.
It's about three something like that. Intro decent. The song after that, you got about. I think it's
The
like
intro was They Stole Jay-Z.
Yeah,
That was
that's what I said.
that was Dag.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Dun
what
dun
you're talking
dun
about.
dun
That was
dun
off the
dun.
Dynasty, I think,
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
They stole that. Like you stole that. Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Everybody be stealing stuff.
No, but don't. But Reese claiming it. Like he claiming it. Like dog, you can't claim one of the greatest songs. I mean, when that song comes on at a concert, Jay can just turn it on and throw up the diamond, and the whole deck goes up for the whole time. You don't even gotta say the words. It's dun 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 dun. Dun. Come on, you can't take a hot song and reduce it to a hot line.
So he did a reverse Jay.
He did a reverse Jay.
He made a hot line and made a hot song.
He turned a hot song into a hot line. Lord have mercy. My son was looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, this is garbage. He was like,
Yeah, I let my son control the radio. You know, he's 17, be 18 next month. So I let him control it. And it be first of all, a lot of this music be suicidal. Like he listen to NF, like half the time NF want to kill himself.
Who is NF?
That's his name. I don't even know if it stands for something, but his name is NF. And then it was like weird music. Like they all got like
it'd be like emo rap.
Yeah, like
it'd be what rap?
Emo rap.
Break that down. Tell me.
Emotional, short for emotional. You know, remember them emo kids?
No.
Like it's like weird. Like it's
What's
like
emo? No, I'm serious. What are emo kids? You're educating a lot of us.
No, I mean it's like just Google it, but it's just like it's a style. It's a way of being.
Give me an example of one that I might know.
You let me see if you like any of the new rappers.
Like Extension probably be the only one that you know.
I heard of the name Extension, but I couldn't tell you a song. Like honestly,
like I love and I hate you, but I cannot. You know, easier said than done. It's like it's like they.
My life is so hard.
I want to kill myself. I gotta. And it's like all they music be like suicidal thoughts. Like we heard Biggie. One song, you know, suicidal thoughts when I
die. When I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of, ain't hard, I'm going to tell.
Like all they music now. That's
with the goodies. Dressed black and black hoodies. Gotta probably have me on some real strict.
No.
Sleeping on days, no getting my.
Man. I don't know nothing about that. My song would be like, what is that? I was like, a hit.
Real hit. I mean, that was a real hit. So, yeah. I got a lot to learn. I'm gonna do a little bit more listening to y'all. I'm gonna be a little bit more listening to y'all because I don't get it. It's a lot that I don't get. My son though, like I think he won't even take the radio when I'm in the car.
He don't want you knowing what he listening to.
Exactly. He be like, he got his headphones on like I be like, I got Tidal. He be like, that's okay. He be like, no, thank you. I be like, really? Huh? What? Man, emotional rap. That just tells me how slippery we've gone.
It's not just about rap. It's like they whole disposition. Mm-hmm. It's like a rock star or like a rap star. You got emo kids. It's like just a genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's like rock rap now in a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like what's so funny to me because I think like
kind of like almost like a Travis Scottish type of person.
I don't even understand that. That's like the dudes that be painting their fingernails and like they jump in the crowd and all that stuff and they act. So there is something rock star. Like, you know where I feel like this came from? Remember when they was like party like a rock star, party like I feel like we take the worst of white stuff and be like, yes. Like what's the dude Future in the Percocet? I did not know what a Percocet was till I heard that.
Are you serious?
Percocet. First of all, what was the words they was playing instead of Percocet though? Remember it was a
I forgot.
But the Percocet song, so I'm singing the song, and I'm singing, and then they play the real song, and they talk about Percocet, and I'm saying to myself, okay, are you like purposely sabotaging and turning our children into? And I'm not gonna say. I feel like it's a lie to pretend like music isn't influential.
It is.
Because I'm going to tell you, shoot. I would tell you that in some cases, music has been more influential than my parents. I'm going to tell you. Shoot. I think throughout my midlife, not my midlife, but my 20s, 18, 19 to 25, my life was not based on what my parents was talking about. It was based on what Jay was talking about. Right? 4.0, 4.6, all of it. Got me all of it. And so I'm gonna have to try and listen to some of that emotion. Well, I mean, I guess, Reese, do you say something to him about it when he put it on?
Sometimes it do be like, it be all right, but it just be like, man, like y'all are like so like backwards. I tell my son, I said, man, y'all grew up off drug using music. I grew up off drug dealing music. Like we was taught, don't get high of your supply. You supposed to go just buy the supply and just get high. I'm confused on what y'all doing. Like it's teaching y'all like to be like drug users or something. Like I don't know.
But let me ask you a question though. Ain't that so? When people talk about it being a conspiracy, like, is it? Do you think there's a connection between, for instance, Future doing a song about Percocet and Percocet use?
Of course. Just like Lane, like when I grew up, and we didn't know, but 3-6 Mafia was actually talking about it on Sipping on Some Scissor. But as we got older, when they just started, like every song started singing, and then for an era, everybody was doing lean, like real heavy. You know how people like they rap. People at first everybody was only smoking OG, then you only smoke OG, just like backwoods. Like it was at first you only rolled Swissers. Now if I don't have no backwood, I don't smoke. It's all that's how it is. But all on music.
My cousin can't even figure out how to unroll a backwood to even smoke it. He'd be like, "This is too much work." My cousin be like, Now I do know, but my cousin do know. The Cookie Crooks, they make the best backwood, whatever. But what? So when they be saying wood, that's what they talking about?
Yeah, backwood.
I thought that was a different type of drug. Like they be like, oh, he off them woods. He off them woods. I thought it was a different type of drug. Like I was like, why y'all make it? See, that's why I told you. I said I'm old. I'm not even going front no more.
Maze, me and Reese old out here in the game.
Right.
So if we feel old, I can imagine how you feel.
I mean, yeah, we're going to have like a class one day. We're going to have Ruthie, you got to help the parents help the kids. You got to be on the parents' side. You don't be rolling your eyes at me.
I mean,
you got to help the parents. I don't want my son to be listening to murder, death music and singing suicide songs and y'all didn't even tell me. I can't even understand what they be. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I think that dude XXXTentacion actually got famous off. He killed one of his friends and made a song about killing his friends that went like worldwide.
See?
Like for real.
And he's not in jail?
I think he killed himself, if I ain't mistaken, or something like that. I think he did, ain't he?
I think somebody robbed him and he got shot, right?
Yeah, obviously he dead or something, if I ain't mistaken. And then another rapper did a song about suicide and killed himself. Like, made millions off of it, but
he didn't make millions off of it. He didn't.
Right.
And my guess is he probably doesn't have a super good financial plan. So probably the label was like, kill yourself and we get it all.
That's the move. We got to talk about the labels.
We got to kill it all. I know. I think about Lear Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think about this Lear Cohen, Israeli, Russell Simmons' partner, Ace Russell Simmons, out of Def Jam. Signed all the black folks, including my guy Jay, because he took Def Jam from being a homegrown label to a multi-billion. He monetized the brand. What you say, Ruthie? They take our culture and sell it back to us. Mm-hmm. Now he left there, just like okay. So think about the fact that he was during the era when Jay-Z and Cash Money and all those guys, the artists started to take control of the era, take control of their. They was like, we can make our own music. Y'all get distribution. So they took the money out of the music and put it into the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? the iPod. So I'll give you the song. You don't no longer have to buy a whole album. You can buy just the songs. We'll make the songs devalue and we'll charge you more for the equipment. And the white boys moved to the equipment. And now that the equipment is going away, right? And it's all in this cloud stuff, where does Lear Cohen go? To YouTube. So now he's the head of YouTube Music Worldwide, where he takes Chief Keef, turns Chief Keef into a multi-millionaire off of YouTube videos and sales, creates the bidding war that launches this drill rap era that now has
a lot of dead bodies
piling up, and the competition. Man, one day I was watching a video too, showed me in the basement of these dudes was just in a straight up regular old basement, just a regular basement. I'm not talking about tricked out. I'm not talking about 20-inch TV. I'm 80-inch. I'm talking about a basement.
1 million views.
2 million views. And they got every barrel, every drum, talking about all the people that they killed, 64 ops killed, dead, whatever. And somebody signs this and puts it out, and the next kid is like, oh, well, I'm going to make 72 dead ops.
But see, it's a chicken or the egg. Because now I feel like we at the point where it's happening that a lot of these young kids are doing this just so they can get them views.
That's my point.
And so that they can get these record deals.
And so my point, so who chokes out Lear Cohen?
Well, first off, we got to start making the connections between these dead bodies and Lear Cohen. But ain't nobody really willing to do that.
Let's do it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's take a quick break. Reese, you going to do traffic and weather. This is Dante's time, and then we going to come back. So let's do it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Give them a commercial. Reese the Ruler, Dante, and then we'll be right back.
WIFTVPM.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
What about my love? Seems you have forgotten love. I do believe that something went wrong somewhere. What about my feelings? Do they mean anything at all? You got me so in love, I'm too blind to see. And but you got my love, now you wanna put hands together. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Really wish you would change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Now that you got my love, you don't come around. Now that you got all my love, yeah, you got me standing on shaky ground. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Oh my, I had a conversation with her. This is how it went. Before you leave out the door, before you leave out the door, baby, won't you change your mind? Oh, Lord have mercy. 'Cause I need you and you need me. I know it can be happy. Just wait and see. Baby, won't you change your mind? I'll do better if you change your mind. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, got me standing on shaky. Now that you got my love, you don't even come around. Now that you got my love, you got me standing on shaky ground. Baby, won't you change your mind? Baby, won't you change your mind? Oh no, I've been hoping, baby. I've been praying, baby. Yes, I have. Baby, won't you change your mind? Oh no. I've been hoping, baby. Yeah. I've been praying down on my knees, praying that you change your mind. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'll do better if you change your mind.
IIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Well, good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:10 a.m. and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland sports, weather, and traffic update. In sports, Toledo and the White Sox beat the Cardinals 8-3. Sox going for the series sweep today at home at 1:10. Rodon gets the call to start. Cubs hold on to a small but good victory 4-3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 2 this afternoon. Williams gets the nod. The Lakers get even as they even a series 1-1 against the Suns. Series stood back to the Staples Center. Nets cruise past the Celtics 130-108. Luka Doncic and the Mavs take both victories against the Clippers, now head back to Dallas with a commanding 2-0 lead. On the traffic, Kennedy Inbound to O'Hare, y'all get out there. 62 minutes to the loop. Outbound back to O'Hare, just 23. Eden from Deerfield to the Exchange, 68. Outbound Exchange to Deerfield, 28. Eisenhower, inbound from Thorndale to the Loop, 46. Back out to Thorndale, 33. Stevenson, inbound to the Dan Ryan, 44. Bishop Ford, inbound to the Dan Ryan, 49. Dan Ryan, 19 minutes to the Loop, 11 minutes back. In today's weather, it is currently 44 but rainy right now. Morning showers, but the sun is set to come out this afternoon. We will have a high of 82 but a low of 54. Tomorrow, grab your coat, hoodie, and jacket because it's going to be cold, y'all. 57 degrees. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now back to Maze and Ruthie on the Maze Jackson Show.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Miss Ruthie Moore. Ruthie.
Yep.
Okay. How do we do this with Todd? Do we do job applications? Or do we just pretend like it's not happening?
Well, I think that the first step, Maze, is for you and Todd
to talk about it.
To work it out. That's the first step.
Let's see, Ruthie. Okay, I'm with you on that. Go ahead.
The second step is, yeah. well, I think that adjusting to a new job is difficult. Now, I ain't caping for Todd. I heard the little breath you just took.
No, I'm not even
adjusting is difficult, and I think that he does need time to recalibrate. But the challenge with Todd is Todd ain't gonna say nothing. And then he gonna say, well, why ain't you say something, Maze? And then you gonna say something like, well, why ain't you say nothing, Todd? And then that's where y'all can get stuck at.
No, we not. Because I'm getting auditions started this week. No, I'm just joking. No, I think, so here's what I think. And this is just us talking just between me and you. I really feel like, Todd has a big, big, big responsibility. And so it's but I also know the attraction of, being able to share your opinion sometimes, or sleep on air, whichever you decide to do, because Todd likes to sleep on air too. So I think we have to make accommodation for the fact that he has a new, real job, real responsibility, citizens' residence. Yesterday, I was proud to see Todd assuming his place on the right-hand side of the mayor as they convene the meeting. It's funny though. Because, it used to be Todd sitting up there and the guy sitting next to him. But it's pretty dope to see the black guy sitting up there, and instead of the white guy sitting next to him, it's the black guy sitting next to him. So, no, it's no shade on Todd. But I also think that, it'll be a great opportunity for us to give some people the opportunity to rotate.
Ain't nobody trying to get up this early.
Dang, Ruthie.
I'll call in, Maze. I don't know if I'm going to make it in the studio.
That is how people be doing.
This is early.
It is early. It is early.
Not easy.
You want fame? Well, right here's where you start paying. Because you will have 300 black people that will know you everywhere you go.
Ooh, what joy.
Dang, Ruthie.
That's good though.
I don't get off on it. Don't do nothing for me. It just depends on the type of person. I don't think Todd get off on it either.
When he got his little sponsorship he did, he was like, I'm Todd man. No, I think this. And I don't think it's get off. I think there's
maybe that's a poor word choice. Actually, a very poor word choice.
Yeah, no, I think that there is something to, I don't think the fame part of it is. I do think there is something to speaking your space and knowing that it's being put into the universe and it is being considered. I feel like one of the things that's always funny to me is the things that we say here, and when people regurgitate them to us like we didn't, like, I was like, we put you up on that. So I think that one of the great parts of it is, and I think even for Todd, he's mentioned it before, is knowing that maybe it's not going to happen for you per se, but that the things that you're talking about are shaping or are part of the not the lexicon, but are part of the dialogue that makes the city go. So I think there is value to what we do here every morning, whether it's the fame that you like, 300. I love my 300 people.
Every time I leave here from this show, I get more a week old Wednesday followers.
Well, you have a vested interest in increasing your brand.
Yes. I think that we also have an invested interest in increasing the intellectual capabilities of the black people as it relates to this understanding.
Not me. I have a vested interest in increasing my finances.
Got it.
The bag.
Yeah,
that's what I'm on. Time.
I'm with you on that. So I guess in this process, everything I'm with you on that.
This is almost a part-time job for me.
Oh,
when I calculate the amount of hours that I put in.
Ooh, man, that's why we gotta take this time, and I think we gotta recalibrate. So we'll talk about it. But yes, be on the lookout. We will be taking a break. We'll be taking a couple weeks, and we will be bringing on some new programming. We got new shows. I still keep tripping on this 2 vegetarians eating chicken. I think. Yeah, we got like 3 more new shows coming to the network. So we'll be looking forward to having you tune in. All right, y'all. Time to move on. Alexi Janulius. Did y'all see that yesterday? He got the support of the statewide support of SEIU. Oh. Do you all now? So I guess I'm looking at this Secretary of State's race. And I look at the Secretary of State's race, and I'm trying to kind of figure out the way forward. I think the Jesse White departure is something that while we may have talked about for a while, a lot of people didn't really think about. And now we're at this point where the race has started, people are out the gates. And I want to kind of just do an update as to where we are. So yesterday we saw Alexi Janulius pick up the statewide endorsement of SEIU. That's the Service Employees International Union. That is considered one of the biggest coups in politics because they give you 2 things, money and troops. Money and troops. Do you know, in case you don't know who SEIU is, those are the people that lead the fight for 15. They are the people that you see in the purple and gold shirts. Oftentimes, they are the low-wage workers that have been organized to fight. So, like, you see people like certified nursing assistants. You see janitors. You see people that make minimum wage jobs are often part of SEIU. And quite frankly, SEIU, with their membership, because of their large membership, their endorsement means a tremendous amount. One of the things that it was funny to point out in the paper yesterday, or when they talked about this endorsement, was the fact that black people that SEIU kind of connotates that they're going to get the black vote or that they're going to get black people because SEIU is overly populated with black and Latinos, obviously the lowest wage workers. I gotta say it's odd to me that so early in the game that the union that represents the most, probably besides AFSCME, right, represents the most black people, that they voted this early in the game, against the two black candidates. That's odd to me. Particularly considering we haven't, in a grand scheme, heard from any of these candidates in the great space, right? Like, I don't feel like there's been a real campaign. Like, now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Alexi Janulius has been going to local SEIU places and locations and talking to them and talking to black workers. And so I wonder, give me a call. I'm going to open up the phone lines. But especially like for the black SEIU workers and black folks in general, are you already on board with Alexi Janulius?
What they getting?
Well, that would be my point.
Yeah, I mean, if we could find, what are they being promised?
Well, see, I guess my question, right, what are they being promised? Well, let me also say that SEIU, though, is one of the largest unions in the Secretary of State's office.
Smart.
So probably what they're doing is they're working to make sure that they secure. He's probably giving them a guarantee of jobs and locations, right? And remember, I don't know if, this isn't shade, but I don't know if SEIU is really concerned about black people or are they concerned about the union? And are the SEIU and the SEIU people do the black people in SEIU feel like their interests are represented there? I just think it's pretty odd that without any public debate, without any public forum, without anything, and again, I would be interested to know what were they promised if they made this endorsement early. Because what this does, Ruthie, is it creates, remember I talk about this, the sense of inevitability? The sense of inevitability is to pile up the wins so early that it makes other people say there's no way they can possibly win. And so now what you see is the decisions in labor being made by white folks as to where they're going to deposit their membership. So here's where we sit. Alexi Janulius has raised the most money, multi-millions. He has also now just gotten the endorsement of SEIU statewide. I'm getting text to expect that he'll be getting a President Obama endorsement within the next 2 months. And I gotta ask myself, what's in it for the black people?
You know, I'm just looking at this, just glanced at the article, just skimming it. And these SEIU ties are pretty deep.
Break them. Bust them up.
I mean, I'm just looking at them. I'm looking on the Sun Times. And SEIU Local 1 and SEIU Healthcare have an ownership stake in the Chicago Sun Times.
Yep.
So I think the ties are pretty deep.
So the challenge now becomes, in the Secretary of State's race, where do black people fit in this? And I got something I want to bring by y'all a little bit later. But I want to ask, I want to kind of set right now for the Secretary of State's race. We have two white guys who are in the perceptionally in the lead to replace Jesse White in what is the most powerful position in the state realistically. Most jobs, but biggest budget, most employees, most offices. Right now, Mike Hastings, suburban white senator from Orland, has picked up all of the white labor support. Alexi Janulius, white, Greek, North Side, has picked up the labor support of the poorer, or not the poor, but the unions that represent us. Still in the race, you've got Anna Valencia, Pat Dowell, and David Moore. Ruthie. Anna Valencia, while she has limited to no base, because really she's from Steel City. She came here and was a creation of Rahm Emanuel. She has linked in with black moms, right? Hence the creation of the Mom Caucus that they'll use to leverage their space in with black women, right? She also has national money from Dick Durbin and Rahm Emanuel and their bases. So I expect very shortly that we'll see an influx of cash and capital. Anna Valencia is betting on the woman component of this.
Yeah, definitely.
And mom, right? And the woman with the mom is, well, first of all, she's probably looking at what happened with the Iris Martinez race at for Dorothy Brown's seat.
Mm-hmm.
We got the same exact situation happening right now again, where everybody, you had Richard Boykin and you had, I can't remember who the other candidate was, and everybody was so busy looking at them that the Latina woman with low budget and no money slid right in and fired all the black people at Clerk Dorothy Brown's office. We got Pat Dowell, who I've gotten an email from. She's a sitting Chicago alderman. I'm not going to trip on her. I'm going to give her fair shake. But let me ask you a question. What's her inroad? Like, what's her base? What's her path to victory?
I think she's going to go with experience.
But you got to think about how people view Chicago aldermen. So if you look at polling, Chicago aldermen, there's probably nothing lower on the polling than a Chicago alderman. Now you got to go sell that around the state. You got to sell that downstate. You also got to play in the pool in Cook County where you're dividing the Cook County map up by 5 people.
You know, I was thinking this might be like a stretch, but
come on.
Her ward is like changing.
Yeah.
Like, and so if somebody really want that ward bad enough, I feel like they'll go ahead and prop her up so that she can, so she can leave the ward, because I ain't saying that ward is more powerful than the Secretary of State's position, but that's a very powerful ward right now.
Well, we'll see how powerful it is, because she's probably in an untenable position that ward is going to move south. For her to be able to win that ward again, she's going to have to move south, right? Because if you look at probably South Loop now with all the high rises, that's a white ward in and of itself. The third ward, unless they change the third ward, because remember, third ward was historically black. Now, last time they took the second ward, which was the oldest historic black ward, and moved it on the north side to displace Bob Fioretti. So now you got Pat Dowell in kind of a crunch because she's got this burgeoning ward that probably doesn't, she appeals to it, but it's always, white folks can be fickle. You get a wealthy white candidate who wants a high school, and the next thing you know, then you got David Moore, who I think has probably got the most street cred, black street cred, right? Like, probably got the closest record to saying he's actually fought for black folks. But I would say right now, where does the black vote go?
What happened to that slate we was talking about?
You got to stay till 8 o'clock.
Okay.
But again, here's the conundrum we're in right now.
The pickoff is real.
The pickoff, and check this, and if I'm a calculating guy, I say that Pat Dowell helps Alexi Janulius.
Why you say that?
Because Pat Dowell peels black women from Anna Valencia. Right? So now you got to start to look at this. And I'm not saying they're in it together, but I'm saying,
no, you're just talking strategy.
Yeah, where do we fit in this? Who's got the black vote? Where do the black people deposit their vote? Because here's what Alexi is counting on: being a basketball player, Barack Obama, and you cannot count out his consultant.
Oh,
you cannot count out Hannah Jubei because, quite frankly, people trip on Hannah. I've talked some smack about Hannah, but Hannah wins. And she got Kwame Raoul and Larry Rogers as clients. So you put the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest black political players in the game, quietly. You got the attorney general. And my bet is, unless the governor comes with a left field play, and this governor's going to be jammed with this.
Why does the governor's opinion matter for Secretary of State?
I think because the governor leads the ticket.
Okay.
The governor leads the ticket, and he has the most money. So realistically, the governor is going to be like, he does and he doesn't. Like, he couldn't do anything to stop. Okay. He couldn't do anything to stop these people from running. I think he's so weak that he can't put his foot down. Now, the only play the governor has in this is the play that I told you before, which is Juliana Stratton. I.e., move Juliana Stratton from the lieutenant governor's office to get Jesse White to appoint her. Give her the benefit of incumbency. It clears out all of these other candidates. If he can get Jesse White to appoint Juliana Stratton, it essentially eliminates all the rest of those candidates real whole. JB then loads up. Now he gets to run with his ticket. Now he can pick up, for instance, a downstate white guy. Because who do black people have to vote for? So now I can pick up a downstate white guy or woman to be my running mate, which shorts me up downstate. I promoted a black woman to the most powerful office. She still becomes my running mate. Remember, Jesse White was his virtual running mate. Right? Even after he was like least offensive and all that stuff, Jesse White became JB. JB leaned on Jesse every time he went. So now my question becomes, where do we sit in this Secretary of State's race? And I gotta ask, I'm gonna open up the phone lines because, we gotta talk to Ricky Hendon coming up. But I gotta ask, where do black people deposit their vote? And I really gotta understand, how does the union with the most black folks in it pick the white guy first? How does that happen?
Just like you said that day, if you see that man come on wearing the regular something, then I guess it's more like appearance. So,
Wait, no, that's not what it is. No, that's
to trust our own, I guess.
What it is, and I'm going to tell you what it is very quickly. Give me 1 second. What it really is that the relationships exist in spite of the black people. Let me help you understand. We are oftentimes, we are oftentimes leveraged. So hey Ruthie, while you doing your superstar work, could you look and see what the board of directors of SEIU looks like? Because here's what has happened. Typically what happens is somebody's smart enough to organize black people into a force at a low wage and then use us as a battering ram. And so the conversations probably happened amongst the white guys to say, hey, let's get this, we'll work this, and we can sell our members on the fact that we'll raise their jobs to $16 an hour, and then we can be in cahoots. But I don't know if the membership is in that same space. See, black people are often organized as a commodity for white people's benefit. whether it's slavery, whether it's politics. It's the same thing as the Democratic Party putting our votes all together to say, okay, we're going to put our people on this side with the white guy and we'll give you all the black people, and it'll create the perception. Look, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I'm supposed to be talking to Ricky Hendon at 7:30, but we'll try and get him in. If not, we'll continue this conversation. Plus, Ruthie asked about it, but the black slate. I think we need to have a safe repository for black people's votes, win or lose, a place where black people can put their votes and take them out of the hands of white folks. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
WISTVPM.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the tax credit scholarship program. For more information, visit empowerillinois.org. Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Yeah. Oh, baby, oh, darling. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your love must be some kind of drug, baby, 'cause it just keeps on calling me, and I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done OD'd on you, babe. I'm addicted for you. Can't stop loving 'cause I can't get enough of you, babe. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. This must be love. 'Cause I can't get enough of your loving. I'm so addicted. Can't stop loving. I need you right now, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind, every day, every time. It's been too long since I had you in my arms, and I don't know if I can take any more of being without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted.
You are tuned in to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore. We are looking for State Senator Ricky Hendon to give us a call in. I sent him the link. But I was thinking, I want to talk to black folks. Give me a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. My question becomes, and I don't, and maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I missed something. And I also recognize that our self-interest as black folks are not the same as the interests of the union specifically. So I recognize that in the grand scheme of things, there are things that happen behind the scenes for unions. And let me also set the stage as to why this probably happened. Because are you all familiar with pre-slating? Does anybody know what pre-slating is? Pre-slating occurs in June, where the Democratic Party whistles in all of the candidates that plan to run for office and kind of get a pre-assessment of them. They say some people, it really is a chance to smoke out all the candidates, people that are going to potentially run, and get an assessment of where they are. So what will happen at pre-slating is everybody that's running for office, for the most part, will come out to the Democratic Party and sort of present their credentials and say, hey, I'm planning on running, so be on the lookout for me. I'll be stopping by your place. But by the way, these are the people that are supporting me. Now, when you go into the meeting and you say, I got SEIU, well, you know that means that the biggest hammers in the black community right now is labor. Politicians really are at the will of labor because labor has the money to elect, the organization to elect, so right now the fight is going to be labor coming in and saying, I got the big boys. Now, who still hasn't weighed in yet? CTU, right? So we still got to see who CTU is. Maybe that weighs in for Pat Dow. But I don't know if, as being the budget director for the city of Chicago and their number one target is Lori Lightfoot, I don't know how that works out. But David Moore gives him a great candidate. So now you got to start to say, and by the way, on June 5th, the Democratic Party of Illinois, the Cook County Democratic Party will be hosting a candidate forum of all of the Secretary of State candidates. Now, you know the problem with that is, who's going to ask about black issues? It's moderated by Madam Chair Toni Preckwinkle. So my question then becomes, who's going to get to the candidates and what they're going to do for black people specifically? Because when they go in front of the Cook County Democratic Party, they're going to talk about black and brown. They're going to talk about immigrants. They're going to talk about the Big Tent, right? Because that's what the Democratic Party is. Remember, the Democratic Party, what has happened for us is that our interests have been welded to the Democratic Party. So the Democratic Party can ask Democratic Party questions, and the presumption is those answers are good enough for black people. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it is the presumption that if the Democratic Party questions this person or questions these people, that they are going to question them, and that at the end of the endorsement session, those universal questions should be good enough for us. When has that worked out for us lately? When has it worked out that we trust the party to make the best decision for black folks and it works?
Because we ain't got no alternative.
So I want to talk about that in a minute. But I want to hear from you all. Give us a call. Y'all did a great job yesterday calling in, letting us know how you felt. I want to know right now, 872-259-7474. Does SEIU's endorsement put Alexi Janulius in a leadership position in the black community in this Secretary of State's race?
It depends on what you mean by that. Is his ability to put down the yard signs increase his presence in the black community? Absolutely. If you just base it off of what you see, yard signs.
Well, yeah, you're right.
And I think that matters. That I don't want to say
they like to
propaganda, but
they like to say signs don't vote. But every year people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawn.
It matters.
It does.
And if really like for them to make this endorsement so quickly, they had to, have some behind the scenes stuff that we just don't know about yet. But I think that it's this whole, I keep seeing the word working families and how in touch, Janulius is with working families.
I gotta ask, how in touch are you with working families when you're a multimillionaire? That you've been a multimillionaire for your whole life.
So in order for him to shake that narrative, right, they realize, okay, we need this endorsement quickly and before people start asking those questions.
Here's let me just say this. Only in America can a white guy who got ran up out of office whose family got accused of financial malfeasance come back 5 years later, smile, and be in the front runner for the black spot.
I mean, he aligning himself with quote unquote working families. So that when you see Janulius, you don't think wealthy, tax the rich. You think working families.
It's a lot of working families at the Secretary of State's office.
They playing chess, psychological chess.
Meanwhile, us checker players. Ruthie, what do we do? Oh, hold on. I see Ricky Hendon popping in here. So let me do this. We're going to move off of this for a second. And we're going to go back. We're going to come back to this because, Ruthie, I got kind of a plan. But it entails you running for comptroller. And you see how you laughing? It does. I'm just saying, Ruthie. I was just thinking about putting our ticket together, but let me do this. Up now, he done walked. Is he gonna walk away from the camera when I'm trying to put it on him?
He gotta get his water.
He gotta get his. I wonder, is he in the Rona money bed? He probably in the Rona money bed. Hey y'all, let me tell y'all what. And I did not talk about this, but there are some big happenings going on in Springfield, Illinois, surrounding the cannabis legislation. And our guy who has been down there at the forefront of the fight, State Senator Ricky Hendon, is here to tell us what's going on. Let me do this real quick. Former State Senator Ricky Hendon, writer and author of Rona Money. He is live here, man. You've been down there. You've been in the middle of the fight, man, and it looks like the fight, you done pushed the ball forward. They passed legislation in Springfield yesterday out of the House for revised cannabis legislation to try and get it right. Talk to us. Tell us what is going on in Springfield with cannabis. Former State Senator Ricky Hendon.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Ruthie, how are you?
Good morning. Good.
You got some pants on, Ricky. Don't be
yes,
talking. Don't be saying hi to Ruthie in your skivvies, man.
I am my draws. Nah, I know your show is R-rated. So, House Bill 1443 did pass yesterday out of the House and is headed to the Senate. And this bill is sponsored by LaShawn Ford. It received 70 yeses and 33 no's. So that's a big vote. We only needed 60. 71 would have been a supermajority. So it gives Black people and Latinos a chance to get into the cannabis business. And Mays, they are at this pace they're going right now, they're going to make $2 billion. Not $1 billion, $2 billion in Illinois alone this year. And what's in it for the black folks right now? Nothing. So it's not a perfect bill, but it creates more licenses, which means more chances. And it's 3 rounds instead of just 1 round, which, we all complained and fought about and marched on the governor about with the perfect 21. That round is separate. It would still go forward. Some people may be able to get into that. Then there's a round 2, which has fewer people in it, but some white folks still in that. And then there's a round 3 that really tightens everything up to, we call it the true social equity round. It's not perfect, but at least it's 3 rounds now. And there are 5 medical licenses that are attached to the 3rd round that hopefully will go to black and brown people. And if you get one of those, you also get a recreational license with it. So altogether, it's 185 licenses instead of 75. And we're dealing with a cut score of 85% instead of that 100% perfect score crap, which was, set up for the white folks.
Now, let me ask a question. Hold on, let me stop you right there. So that 85% cut score means that what? Does that mean that how many social equity applicants fit into that space? And when I say social, I really care about black. Go ahead.
Yeah. There are a lot of black people fit into the 85% cut score. They killed us with this made up 100% perfect score crap. So I know it's probably in my mind 500 to 700 black and maybe a couple hundred Latinos that would make it, or maybe that's the total number altogether with the cut score.
Senator Hendon, I was briefly involved in some of the negotiations between the black groups in my estimation, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 black organizations that essentially kind of guided this or were at the table negotiating on this half. And one of the things that it seemed to be a challenge with was this battle over perfection. And it seemed like there was a consensus amongst the majority, but then there became a fight between the majority of groups and the group that had the biggest number of participants. Senator, how did that part of it get resolved? Because I had some real interesting conversations with legislators downstate who felt like while this bill wasn't perfect, it got us closer to where we wanted to be, and they couldn't understand why we would be trying to block any black people from getting access.
Well, I don't want to tear down any black group. I appreciate the efforts of the other black group. There's one black group on the outside. All the other major black groups supported the bill. The one black group that didn't support the bill had their own reasons. And, they're, in my opinion, just not forthright with all of their reasoning. For instance, one of the things they complained about was relocation. And we made sure that, which allows some of the white companies to move from one location to another location. And they put out in the community that, they're going to move into the west side or the south side. That's simply not true. Relocation means they have to stay within this current medical district. So if they're in Highland Park, they got to stay in Highland Park. They're not trying to move to the west side or the south side. They don't even want to be on the west side or the south side. That's for us. So I'll leave it to them to tell why they were against the bill. But
now, let me ask a question. Were they against the bill? Like, they didn't work against the bill, did they?
Yeah, they worked against the bill. They filled out a witness slip against the bill and said they were going to testify against the bill in committee, but they didn't testify. But they did. You know how the game go. They signed the witness slip as an opponent. But when it came time to testify, they did not testify. And they lost in committee 15-0. So, one of the issues, though, I'll be a little, not going to criticize them, but one of the issues, in our opinion, a way to make sure that we get a better chance is to limit people to how many opportunities they get. In round 1, the white folk got them 150 chances and 170 chances, and we protested against that. we said no one should get more than 3 chances. That way you get a better chance of spreading it around. The black group that's against the bill, and they're still against the bill because the bill has to go to the Senate, and they probably fight it in the Senate. But when you get beat that bad, maybe they'll say, you know what, maybe we need to, find a road back across the bridge, which we will certainly give them. But you shouldn't let nobody have 200 chances or 150 chances. You can't say it's wrong for the white folks to have 150 chances and then support a group from out of town, California or Florida, that put in 150 applications. That's wrong. We limited it to 3, then more people have a chance.
Senator, I'm going to ask you, if all of these cannabis dispensaries come online and we do like we're supposed to, do you, after watching the white boys and they've started to create their own cartels, will there be enough supply? Will there be enough supply of cannabis, and will we find that white guys will just not sell to black vendors and then force the sale?
Well, that's a very good question. We are working now on the cultivation bill. We couldn't really work on it while we were stuck with the dispensary bill, because if you don't have no store, you can grow all the weeds you want, you can't legally sell it. So we're working on a cultivation bill now. I have one that's even bigger than the one that is currently being considered. I think that we should be able to grow on 100,000 square feet at least. The white people can grow on 200,000 square feet. So why can't we have at least 100,000 square feet growth in Illinois? So you got a good point. But I believe if we work together, and I am working with black people nationwide on this now, Portia Mittens and a sister out of Oregon, she's out in Illinois as well, and others, to make sure that we can network nationally, because we think the legislation will be passed nationally, and then you could, if it passes nationally, you could buy outside of Illinois. And there's some black growers in California that are very substantial, and even Jay-Z is getting involved in the growth industry.
All right, I'm gonna tell you, Senator Hendon, I'm gonna say this publicly, no shade to anybody. I'm gonna tell you that while the negotiations that I participated in were contentious, I do think that you did a great job in corralling at least 3 of the 4 groups together, right? And I gotta say that having watched the legislative process, I feel like there's a win here. Like, black folks, we have 0. And
right.
The reality is, anybody that is advocating for us to end this legislative session with 0, in my estimation, is not for us. They're for themselves.
That's my problem.
So, and Ruthie, I think about you saying somebody's got to take the L. Here is an opportunity where really nobody has to take an L, but we are seeing people willing to push an L back on us. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I will be honest with you and say, and this is why we got to be careful with what's in it for the black people and what we do and how we use our tools. In our desire to create opportunities for people to vocalize, sometimes we don't know what their self-interests are, and sometimes we are leveraged as part of individual self-interest. So I'm going to just say, before you call up here talking crazy, if your plan includes, if you're willing to say at the end of all of this that we'd rather have nothing than us being able to finally get a participation in this multi-billion-dollar industry, I gotta question you where you are on the what's in it for the black people scale.
Right.
I got to. And
I appreciate that.
When you, sometimes we've got to learn that if 3 out of 4, if it's 4 of us and 3 of us are like we with it, sometimes you got to come with the squad, right? And I think, go ahead.
Not to cut you off, but you even tried. I mean, I don't know if you want that to be known public.
I don't. We're not going.
Okay. All right. Well, let me put it like this. Let me do it another way. I met with the other group for 6 months. 6 months. In the 5th month, 5 months later, we find out what their ulterior motives. I don't want to be sitting down with you in COVID, coronavirus, social distancing for 5 months and meeting, and then I find out in the 5th month that you have an outside interest, that you didn't tell us. I was straight honest with everybody. My group is a couple of West Side people, older people, retirees, a couple of them still working on their job. We don't have no outside California or Florida or New York people affronting us, because what those people did, Maze, is they had those black people sign contracts that says if they fart and they don't like it, they can take their business for a couple $100,000. It's a $10 million business walking in the door if you get it, 10 million. So why should I support somebody who's got a 51-49 deal that says we put up all the money? Now the black people who like it, they didn't put up no money, so we put up all the money out of California or Florida. And so even though we're 49, if we don't like the way Ruthie's wearing her hair and she's one of the owners, we could take her company for a couple $100,000. That's being pimped and allowing yourself to be pimped, and you can't pimp us.
Look,
what's in it for the black people to say nobody should be able to pimp us, whether they black, brown, white, or whatever.
So on that note, Senator Hendon, I want to tell you thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what needs to happen in the House. I think I'm gonna try and make a trip down to Springfield next week. Oh, excuse me, in the Senate. I'm gonna try and make a trip down. We need to take a trip down to Springfield next week before they get out of here, just to make sure that everybody is felt and heard. Senator, I want to tell you thank you for what you've been doing. I think that we know we're close to where we need to be, but I think we are a lot of steps closer. And I think at the end of the day, right now, the answer is we have 0. Like, understand we have 0. And if you're content with 0, then we probably talking past each other. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Senator Ricky Hendon is on the live line. Ruthie Moore, DJ Reese. Reese, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we are going to finish up the show. I want to talk about this a little bit more. Senator Hendon, thank you. We'll be back after these messages.
All right.
WIFTVPM.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Yeah. Ooh. I miss your kiss. Oh, your kiss is one of a kind. It feels so nice. Girl, you do it right. I miss. Girl, you don't go too fast, you take your time. Just how I miss. Hey. Oh, you kiss it, then I'm drifting off your love. Keeps me floating, girl. I miss. Oh, and ooh, it feels so good, I wanna come down. Girl, I
Good morning, Chicago. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:09 a.m., and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland sports, weather, and traffic update. In sports, Giolito and the White Sox take care of business, help the Cubs by beating the Cardinals 8-3. Sox going for the sweep at home today at 1:10. Rodon gets the start. Cubs hold on to the 4-3 victory against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 2 this afternoon. Williams he gets the nod. The Lakers get even as they beat the Suns 109-103. Brooklyn Nets cruise past the Celtics 130-108. Luka and the Mavs take a 2-0 victory back to Dallas as they lead the series 2-0. In traffic, Kennedy inbound O'Hare to the Loop 64 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare 38 minutes. On the Eden inbound from Deerfield 60 minutes. Outbound to Deerfield 37 minutes. Eisenhower inbound from Thorndale to the Loop 60 minutes. Back to Thorndale 48. Stevenson inbound to the Dan Ryan 50 minutes. Bishop Ford inbound to the Dan Ryan 43. Dan Ryan 19 minutes to the Loop, 11 minutes back to 95th. In today's weather, it is currently 70 and drizzling. Morning showers, but the sun will come out later today. Afternoon with a high of 82 and a low of 57. Tomorrow, grab your jacket because it will just be with a high of 57. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now back to Ruthie and Mays on the Mays Jackson Show.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore.
That was all I said it. Ruthie Moore. I am your father, Luke. Oh, burn. That's Reese Vader.
We're going to start calling Reese Vader. Reese Vader.
Hey, somebody did that before. I had one guy, he used to call me Vader.
Reese Vader. Man, Luke, I am your father. Say, Luke, I am your father.
Luke, I am your father.
See, Vader. There you go.
That was good.
No! All right. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I will let, and let me just say this. So I didn't name any names. Let me start here. We didn't name any names. We didn't, but anybody is welcome. I see Natasha on the line, on the feed, talking, etc. I'm gonna point my point out, and then I'm gonna open up the phone lines, and then we're gonna talk about this. As far as I know, as it relates to what is going on with the cannabis, and I've talked to multiple facets. The legislators in Springfield are pretty clear that black fatigue is happening. Like, white folks are getting tired of talking about black issues. They done gave you your stuff, and this cannabis thing, right now, if we don't get it done, if we don't get something done this legislative session, recognize that it works best for the white folks. Nothing works perfectly for them. There is no such thing as perfect legislation. And we currently have 0 black cannabis operators. 0. Now, if this number moves from 0 to 1, that's 100% increase. If it moves from 0 to 2, that's 200% increase from what we have. Let me just do this for you real quick. If the legislators and 3 of the 4 black cannabis advocacy groups all found common ground. So all of us are in the battle together. We all got a black fight, regardless of who our group is and our interest is. All of us, the legislators, the business owners, the operators, the advocates, let's say it's 5 entities involved. And 4 of the 5 entities all wind up in the same place. And you show up to the white boys meeting, and all 5 of y'all was in the meeting. Y'all voted that the 4, everybody said this it. Y'all show up at the white boy meeting, and one of the 5 is on the paper against what everybody else is. You somewhere in this game with 0. I gotta ask questions. If 5 of us got together, if 70 plus legislators vote for this issue that we've got no movement on, we got 0 out. Now you're telling me there's 3 lotteries, and the interest is to stop the black folks stop people from getting in. You counting other people's money. Y'all got to help me understand. How do we get here? How do we get out of the hole? Understanding that there will be no perfect legislation.
I think it's that trust piece that we missing.
But Ruthie, if 4 of us are all together and we like, yo, dog, this is like this, nothing's perfect, but at least all of us are gonna at least have a chance to get something. It's like me and I got 700. If I got 700 shots and you only got 3, I know that if I put my 700 in, you might not never get none. So if I got 700, you got 3, and everybody else only got 1 to 3, and I put my 700 in with your 1 to 3, I'm not really working for the collective. I'm working for my 700, and that's cool. But we got to understand that you working for your 700, not the collective. Does that make sense? And so if you're going to work for your 700 and not the collective, if at the end of the day, your goal doesn't say that we have black cannabis operators, like, because right now we have 0. And if your end equals us still being at 0, I got to ask,
y'all being at 0 or me being at 0?
Well, see, the thing is, actually, we'll all be at 0. Because the reality is, if we pass nothing, even you with your 700 ain't getting none. We have people who are willing to say, I'm ready to have 0. I'd rather have 0 than all of us having 3 shots. That doesn't discount your money. That doesn't discount what you did. But it's like, if you put up 700, you were trying to flood all the rest of us out. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Open up the phone lines. I'm not suggesting we have unity. I'm suggesting we have no cannabis operators, and somebody is suggesting that we should end up this legislative session with zero. Deborah, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Deborah.
Hi there, Maze. How are you? Good
I'm
morning,
great.
everyone. Great, Maze. I wanted to just speak something. And by the way, your mic was hot earlier when you guys paused for the call. So I did hear your conversation that you were having in reference to Scene and Scene Chicago. But apart from that, what I want to say, Maze, initially when we all started with this, it was about social equity policy. It was about policy for generations to come, for our community. Okay, we were affected the most by this war, by the failed war on drugs. Okay, we have intentionally been locked out of this industry. Black people, Maze, and I'm 60 years old, Maze, and I just want to say one thing: we always miss it. Black people are so gung-ho to be in the short game as opposed to playing the long game. And everybody right now, you think the one person who's opposing all of this is missing it. No, they're not missing it. They're getting it. It's our history. Today, 400 years ago, instead of negotiating something for our freedom, we left with nothing. And everybody wants to talk about a 40 acres and a mule, 40 acres and a mule. We didn't get it because it was never negotiated for us to have. Everybody wants us to be happy, just with what is given to us. We're treated like second-class citizens in our own country, and any and everything we get, we must fight for. We can send people to the moon, we can send them to Mars, but we can't get a social equity policy right, Maze? Come on. What's wrong with that?
Let me ask you a question. Where are we going to, is it going to be, so are you suggesting that there should be no cannabis operations this year? Nobody black should enter this year?
I'm suggesting, excuse me, Mace, and I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll let you finish. What I am suggesting, Mace, at this point, we are $2 billion behind. And Mace, if people don't think that's intentional,
I think it's 100% intentional. I think it's 100% intentional, but if we don't have any entries, if we don't even have an opportunity to sell the product we're gonna, at the end of this year, we'll be $3 billion behind. At the end of next year, we'll be $4 billion behind or $6 billion behind. All I'm suggesting is we got to get in the race.
By then, Maze, it'll be federal, and federal legalization is better, has better components in it than what our state is offering us, which is absolutely nothing. Okay, Maze, I just want to just present something to you.
Go ahead.
Just these licenses, just say that the chosen 21, and if y'all still don't think that directive came down, those 21 people that are eligible for 75 licenses, they weren't part of this process. That process was already predetermined. Okay, and I'll leave that there because that will all come out in the wash. But all I want to say is those 20, where's product coming from? We're not growing. Well, I'm growing product. I'll let the world know. Guess what? I am a state licensed grower and processor, and I will have a DEA control number to grow cannabis legally, but through the federal government. So all shut eyes ain't sleep. There are some of us black people in this world who do know how to up our sales, and we don't have to kiss rings and settle for twos and fews. We know how to, guess what? We've been out here long enough where we know when they tell us something, listen to what they don't tell us, and that's how we move accordingly.
I appreciate
but asking us to accept, and I am one of those people who oppose House Bill 1443 because there's no social equity funding in there. What good is a dispensary license to my black brothers and sisters if they don't have the capital or the funding to get their dispensaries up and running?
So my thing would be, hold on, let me jump in now. Let me start this. Let me say this. I think it's first of all, I think that those black people are as smart as you. That if they put their money in and they put there and filled out their applications, that they have a plan to do what they need to do. I'm not going to assume that anybody is less smart or has any less capability. Now I recognize access to capital.
It has nothing to do with intellect. It has everything to do with the intent, May. And we're not confusing that right now.
So I'm going to say,
it's about
let me
many people really
hold on. I'll let you talk, right? I let you talk though. I let you talk.
Right now,
I let you talk. I let you talk. I did. Now I'm going to also say, hold on. Stop. Cut the call. Because I clearly, we got an issue of respect around here, and it's still my mic, still my station. Let me back up real quick. And I don't want to be, I don't want to sound crazy. Who am I hearing? Okay, let me say this. We had an agreement sitting in my office. Let me just make sure, because we had an agreement that said that if the majority agreed, we would not go oppose it. Let's be clear. The word was, even if you disagree with this, you weren't going to go out and publicly oppose it. If they came to an agreement, part of the reason I came was because there was a concern that nobody would stick to their word. Right? And so because I didn't have an interest, I'm not trying to guide the whole situation. All I'm suggesting is that majority rules at some point. And I feel like everybody recognizes how stupid I'm smarter than the room becomes everybody is the smarter guy than the next guy and I know better. At a certain point, you got to close it down. We're taking a vote. Even if you weren't with the vote, the answer to what we said was going to happen out of the room was nobody was going to leave the room opposing or going against the other group. You were going to run your own bill. Tell the freaking truth. Don't call up here and be emotional. Tell the truth. We sat there and I said, can we get an agreement? Remember, the whole thing was, please respect each other. Respect each other's time. Nobody show up because they think they more important than the next person. Y'all opinions all matter. I don't have an interest in the race. But at the end of the day, we got to vote. The 4 interest groups that have a stake in cannabis voted. The people who were at that meeting who opposed voted yes. They said they had an agreement. I was there. I was the honest broker. I literally called the legislator and said, I think you got a deal. It was only 2 weeks later when we came back that y'all was like, no. And again, at that same meeting, y'all don't have to be with it, but can we get an agreement that we won't go out and we won't oppose each other publicly? Please correct me if I'm lying. Please. So when you then show up and there's a witness slip, you ain't got to stop. You said the real was, y'all said y'all was going to file another bill. Please call me and correct me and tell me I'm lying. Because the moment that y'all made that agreement, your word was in the room with those people. You then went out the room and signed a piece of paper and said, I oppose what I just left the meeting and told everybody in the room was I wouldn't do it. You didn't have to agree with it, but you weren't going to come off of it. You weren't going to go out and be like, this ain't it. Because we said we weren't going to give the white people the fuel to disrupt an agreement that we had. Read the damn bill. Like, first of all, let me just be clear. Like, if it ain't been your interest, if you ain't been reading the bills, and if you ain't been up to date, don't wake up and get on the Maze Jackson show, and because somebody called you, now they done told you, and now you done flipped all around, and they told you it ain't no good. Read it. Anybody telling me right now that we should end up this year with no more cannabis dispensaries, with no black ownership, I'm sorry. You're wrong, in my opinion. And let me also tell you that if you up here caping for somebody who lied, make sure that you clear who you caping for. Again, I was at the meeting when all of the black people, even when they said they disagreed on certain points, that they were not going to go out publicly and oppose. What the hell do you think a witness slip is? There's your trust. Oh my God. Read the people. Read the people. Read what they said. Anybody got zero? Yeah, man. Y'all done blew me this morning. Go open up the phone line. Who's on the phone? Joyce, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Okay, good morning. I hear your frustration and disappointment that there was not a united front amongst the four, but I'm calling from Michigan. And my personal interest in the cannabis industry is to make money. And on the business side of it, my interest is to be a distributor because I have a beautiful piece of land here in Michigan. And I've been considering how I want to use it to be profitable for myself and my children. And so I'm interested in being a grower and distributor in the distribution part of it, but for medicinal purposes. I'm totally against recreational marijuana, alcohol. I just don't believe in anybody being inebriated. But the medicinal side of it interests me, and I would love to get into the distribution of it and be able to distribute to black dispensaries or African-American owned dispensaries in Illinois. I'm also trying to get with a group out of Atlanta called the Black Achievement Group and, just network with them. So I appreciate what's in it for the black people, keeping this issue at the forefront. And I think you should keep on doing that. Be less emotional about it and don't keep your callers on hold so long, please. But I do appreciate you keeping this issue at the forefront because I am interested in becoming a distributor, a grower and a distributor. And I'm going to start the process here in Michigan, of course, getting the licenses, et cetera, et cetera. And the last thing I want to say is I'm a special ed teacher and I've been teaching the last few years. So that's what's kept me kind of distracted from really getting into this area. But special ed teachers automatically are registered as in the medical profession. So I don't know if any of them are listening and who may want to get into the cannabis industry, but you're automatically registered in the medical profession. So we have medical licenses. We may have to add to them in order to be able to get into this industry and be dispensers or growers or whatever. But so I'm kind of already, I have a leg up there and I own a business. So I have a leg up there. I just haven't worked it because I've been teaching. But anyway, thank you for keeping this issue at the forefront. Keep up the good work with that. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Hey man, let me stop. Hold on. Don't tell, first of all, what you confused about? Don't be confused. This is the Maze Jackson Show. It's the same damn show that's been on every damn morning for the last 4 years. Don't play me. Don't play me for comments. I'm 100% clear about what I'm talking about, and I ain't emotional. I'm pissed. Well, maybe that is emotional, but this is what I do. You don't like it? You got options. I'll be clear with you. You got options, but I'm not finna sit up here and be like I'm about to sit up here and let people just talk. I was at the meeting. If you wasn't at the meeting, you can stop. You really can. Because they literally sat right there and said to each other, we as in our blackness, we're not going to disrespect, we're not going to publicly oppose each other. This is the same deal that everybody talked about. Don't get brand new. Don't get brand new with me. Don't play me. I ain't the one. Give me the next call. Ken, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Confused. Don't be confused.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ken.
This Tyrone Muhammad, man.
What's up, Ty?
Hey, listen, man. I feel you, bro, and we've been talking about this for a while. I'm going to just say this real quick and poignant. I've been on the front line fighting on this for social equity for the last 2 years, man. And in my opinion, the only real true social equity applicants that should be applicants are the formerly incarcerated right now. in my opinion. And and Ricky, I didn't agree with the bill, but I supported my brother Ricky because I believe that it's good to have something than to have nothing. And that, like, I'm the only, and I've said this before, you all can fight for dispensaries all you want to. When the white boys decide that they not going to sell you nothing, then you'll be selling to them anyway. So that's why we went to work as ex-cons who can't get a license, who can't even work in the doggone dispensaries. We have 60,000 square foot of warehouse, grow space right now, and we zone. While everybody's sitting around here fighting for dispensaries, we was fighting and building to grow. Our Happy Labs, that's what it's called. We just need a license now. And anybody that got millions that want to participate with us and they black, my number is 312-579-9661. That's 312-579-9661. We sitting around here talking about outside of the state. We in the state with grow houses, ready to go now, zone, ready to go already. While people are fighting for zoning, ex-cons got it right now. So I'm gonna let everybody keep on fighting those sick fights while we're building and growing under their noses while we've been locked out at the same time, man. Even with the 21, none of the 21 really put forth bills and legislation that address the disenfranchisement, the war on drugs caused on ex-cons, caused on our community. None of them, while they crying and fighting over this and that, they really never address the issues when, as it relates to white boys being billionaires and us being locked out the industry. That's why I don't agree with no bill as in its current formulation. None of them serves our community, but they do allow us to get a leg forward. Lastly, I'm asking for a federal moratorium on all expansions as we file this lawsuit, asking for a federal moratorium on all expansion of any cannabis companies currently, and I'm asking for a halt on any expansion on any dispensaries, black or white, that don't serve our community, that don't deal with true social equity, that don't work real seriously to repair the damage caused by the war on drugs. F some money. Our people are starving out here and hurting because of a systematic plot to destroy black men and boys. And we built the Illinois state prison system off of cannabis for 40 years. And now we having these fights on when should we get in, why we can't get in. Man, we got to take what we want, or else they ain't going to give us nothing. So we got to come together. It's imperative, man.
That's Ty. That was all my point in this whole thing was, right? We ain't going to always agree. But if you ain't got the upper hand, sometimes you got to say, okay, I'm roll with my squad. And it's like, that's all. And I fundamentally disagree with the fact that we all had an agreement. I don't care what you feel about the bill. We all had an agreement amongst us as black folks in this space that we weren't going to go against each other publicly. Now you can write that, you can call, and Ty, I appreciate you. We gonna circle back because I know you got some big stuff.
Hey, real quick, man.
Go.
You hear me?
Yeah, go quick.
We doing 7 day. We got to do a 7-day hunger strike, man, in front of Pure Relief on Weed Street next week. You'll see.
No, you're going to be reporting live from that. I'm going to have you report live from that. I can't do 7 days. I can't do 7 days with no eating, but I'll cover you for 7 days. That's our brother Tyrone Muhammad. Appreciate you, brother. Reginald, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Welcome to, I'm glad to be here, Maze and Ruthie. I was just going to tell you that I went to Olive Harvey Monday, and they signing up people just to work at the dispensaries. And I thought that was kind of messed up. You can't get a grow license or a processing license. But I did contact Mississippi, I own land down there, and they giving out license for the USDA to grow hemp, and they setting up shop in Mississippi. So like the other brother said, maybe we need to get into, working and getting our land together and grow it and, ship it here. But you keep it up, man. You're doing a good job, and I always watch you.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I'm going to move from this topic, but I am going to say this one more time. If I can't sit at a table with you, shake your hand, and agree. And agree. Then we really can't do nothing. Like, our suspicion and our concern to stop anybody else from making money so often is our damn downfall. We overlooking because I don't really care what happens with the other 21 white people. I really don't. All I really care about is what's going to happen to the black folks ahead. White folks going white. As grandma say, they going to crack. I think the hardest part of this whole conversation is Ruthie being right. And not about the trust issues. About the trust issues. This whole conversation to me is like so irrelevant because I was literally there when all of the people involved shook hands understanding that they did not agree. They all had an agreement. And to act like the agreement, I don't care what the trade-off was. I don't. I don't care who is getting their money over here, who their money is getting over here. I don't care who financed it because I know ain't nobody got the $200 million that it take to do everything, so everybody got a deal somewhere. Right now, there are people arguing to stay at zero. Choke yourself out. It's cool. But we're arguing. Right now, our suspicion of each other will have us starving all of us out. There's zero. So anyway, I'm gonna move on because I do need to be clear. And I'm gonna say this, like it or not. The reality is some of the groups that made it to the table that even have a vote got a vote because they were here at What's in It for the Black People Media. I'm going to tell you the truth. Be real. I picked up the phone and called you and said, hey, go talk to legislator XYZ ABC because they are now including you as an advocate. I could also tell you that ABC XYZ legislator was like, yo, cuz why is everybody on the same page? We all trying to get to a black solution. And when you vouch, and I'm my vouch, but my vouch, there's consistency with what I'm saying. Same thing the legislator said who is pushing is the same thing that is the violation of our agreement. And like, if you can't see the fact that we all had an agreement amongst each other that we wasn't going to go against each other, because this bill is the same bill that we all sat down and talked about. And at that meeting where everybody said we ain't with it, but we won't oppose it. So do we got to write that down? That wasn't a backroom deal. That was trying to bring an honest broker to the space. That's all. And so today, when you tell the story and you tell the narrative, all I'm telling you is I was at the meeting when everybody's same bill, same four groups. Now, Ruthie, I'm through with this conversation because they done irritated the hell out of me.
We got some problems. Ain't no trust. And not just that, but I've been saying this for a long time. We living in a world where you cannot look people in their eye and shake their hand and have that mean anything. And that is a sad state of affairs. Because really, what good are we to each other if we can't sit across from the table and have trustworthy dialogue? And I understand things change. I get it. but we literally will eat our babies to survive.
I think it's pretty funny.
Dogs on the haystack can't eat the hay, but don't want the cows to get it. So now we all gonna starve. My question is,
so I'm just telling y'all now. Don't come to me with your issues no more. Don't ask me to advocate go ahead.
Well, see, let me tell you why you should stay above the fray maze. I have no financial interest in anything related to this marijuana piece. All I care about is seeing other black people get wealthy so we can have some wealth. But I'm going to say this, that honestly, sometimes y'all make it hard to advocate. Because what am I advocating for? Other black people just to tear each other down for them to get their piece and skirt off into the sunset? I'm trying to build community, not tear it down. But when money get involved, because we be down so bad that some of us are unwilling to make the big sacrifice because we have a lack of trust. If I make you rich, Maze, you ain't finna give me none of that money back. I don't have no trust that you gonna look out for me. So I'm finna get it myself. We got to work on our trust. But I don't even know how to do that.
I don't either. Because, I mean, like, this is one of the moments where, like, how you arguing against your own word? That's it. That's it. Like, and I don't really care about any of the rest of it. I care about when I sat at that table with 4 people and everybody in the 4 people all came up with an agreement. We all shook our hands. We all said, this is how we're going to operate. Propose whatever you want to propose. But on this, we not going to block y'all.
I honestly don't deal. I don't deal with people who I cannot shake their hand and come to an agreement.
So, Ruthie,
what's the consequence for that? Because once you do that, you get one time to do that to me.
Ruthie, and so this is my challenge, right? People come and they ask you, and then you give them a platform, give them a rope, they become the cowboy. Now I'm the enemy, right? Now, and the reality is, all I really want to do is see black folks do better. Right now, we're not going to go from 0 to 10 million. It's just the world. Yeah. And I'm getting to the point where you're right. We're down so bad that it's like it's a challenge to see that we don't even want to one step forward, 3 steps backwards. Like I was just thinking about this whole thing about me, Mark, Tyrone, just trying to put down and we all said we don't agree with each other on a lot of stuff. But what you don't have to worry about is going to your books and seeing that I'm on the books against you. Like, you don't have to worry about that. I might not be with your candidate. We may not even agree. We may agree to just disagree. But we agreed. And that's all I'm going to ask you to honor. So, it's all good. I'm going to move on because I think I was thinking about this Secretary of State race. But it almost is like this is the whole point. I feel like we need a repository for black votes, Ruthie. Like, I don't feel like we need to. I don't want to be forced between bad and worse. Right? And I feel like right now with the Secretary of State's race, with the governor's race, with almost every race, there's no one that I feel like is unapologetically black that will bring up the issues that are important to us in the state or the county. At the statewide level, I think J.B. Pritzker is hoping to clear the field so he doesn't have to answer any black questions. Right? So if there's no real primary, or if there's a white guy, why does a white person care about what's going on in cannabis or our lack of? Why does a white person care whether we got access to gaming, to any of those interests? Ruthie, I was thinking, and I want to say this is solution. I'm starting to believe in what Solution Mike says. Except I'm not necessarily suggesting that we need to start a black party. I think we need to have an inside of the Illinois Democratic Party secession. I.e., because I don't know, Ruthie, if we got the time to break people and turn them away from Republicans. And I feel like the choice, like I've been getting calls, people like, man, we got to go with the Republican. We got to go. And I'm like, black folks ain't. And the second you try to go with the Republican, you gonna get turned into a sellout. And black folks, no matter how elite or how much you think they're going to move, we're not moving from there. So I was thinking, what if we ran a black slate for every office in the state and the county where it affected black people? So imagine a black gubernatorial candidate, but I'm not talking about a black gubernatorial candidate that people are like, No shade to our black gubernatorial candidates that have run up to, but I'm talking about somebody that black people would proudly see in the office, someone that can code switch. But a matter of fact, how about he don't even got a code switch? How about he only campaigns to black folks in Cook County and St. Clair County? What if we had a slate that only spent their time against the black vote? Imagine if you could give black people the opportunity to vote for a black Democrat that they could be proud of, even if they knew he was going to lose. But every time, can you imagine if J.B. Pritzker, every single time there was a debate, he had to stand not next to, no shade to Dr. Wilson, no shade to T.O., but could you imagine if he had to stand next to Herb Howard, Toussaint Werner, I'm using names, but someone who could adequately articulate black issues? Now, they'd have to wear a suit, Ruthie. They have to wear a tie. They'd have to get presentable. But I'm suggesting, no, on the weekends they could do. But and here's my point. My point is we have to make not a black flawed candidate. And that's why I'm saying, like, in playing the game, we got to do all the things that make grandma comfortable as well as you comfortable. But this slate only campaigns in black wards, townships, and places where we run it or have a significant population. Could you imagine pulling the black vote to vote for a black Democrat? Could you imagine when JB shows up in the 8th ward and there's a black candidate working the 8th ward the same day? Well-dressed, well-spoken, knows how to do all of the things. My premise would be their run-up is the black vote. By denying us a choice in black neighborhoods, they automatically win because we're going to hit the D. But could you imagine if you gave them a D that went to University of Illinois? No, better yet, went to Morehouse. That had a family, that had all of the packages. But then, Ruthie, you give them a lieutenant governor. You put David Moore on the Secretary of Slate's candidate slate. You run Ruthie Moore for comptroller. You run a black candidate for treasurer, or even a diverse candidate. Let me say, did I say diverse? But you run a whole slate. Cook County Board president. You run a slate all the way down, and they're only talking about black issues. They don't talk about nothing because their only goal is to take the black vote. Could we give black people a place to put their vote that changes the whole game?
Yes, because it would allow us to control a certain aspect of the narrative. And that's what we need. That's where we really gotta start. Can we just start somewhere?
That's my point.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should start with, if I say yes, if I tell you, okay, let me stop up and be shady again. So, Ruthie, who do we get to So let me tell you what I think, guys. I believe that if we could put together a slate of 5 candidates to run across the whole thing, I think we could get one of them. I don't know if we win the whole thing, but I'm going to tell you, if we put you up against Susana Mendoza, you'll beat her. You would. And my point is, do we give black people credible? See, I feel like oftentimes in the space of these elections, everybody has the plan, but they always insert a flawed candidate in the space. Right? So, like, I love Tio. And quite frankly, Tio won 30 counties. Now imagine if you take that and you put a Morehouse grad in that same space and then you send him to East St. Louis, where grandma could be happy to see him. Did you know there's almost 40 mayors in St. Clair, black mayors in St. Clair County? Yeah. Then you think about the 17 mayors in the south suburbs and you run them in the Southland. And if the black mayors and managers don't get on board, then you run a campaign in their areas besides that. Because they're going to be forced to stop. They're going to be forced to address the candidate. Because the party going to be like, you better get that ninja. Mm-hmm. But could you imagine if we ran our own? Think about right now what happens to the Democratic Party if there is a black slate and the black candidates don't support them. I'm not talking, and again, not the Willie Wilsons and the T.O.s that give them easy outs. Mm-hmm. But people that force them to make a decision between black and Democrat.
It's not a force, it's an option. Can we just get some options?
So here's my point, though. My point is, if you've got a highly qualified black person who has the resume that has everything in it, and the black people still go against him, then they declare themselves enemy of the state. They're more party, and you give them a tangible example. Right? Remember when, and I hate to use...
right now you being the Mastradamus.
Uh-oh. So,
no, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, like, that's... In order for us to make that successful, we got to change our minds.
So I'm trying to,
and that's the challenge.
Baby, won't you change your mind?
Because you got the strategy, but can we psychologically change our minds? Because some people gonna say, "Oh, you're just wasting votes," but sometimes you got to set it up for the long term.
Right, and I feel like, Ruthie, we could get at least 1 or 2 out of the, like. Do you understand that if you can't be independent, black folks? Let me just tell you. You done tried all of these different things. Show me a black independent candidate that's won. You're not gonna. So I'm saying, let's not be hard on ourselves. Let's not. We want to go the long way around. If you give them a black Democrat and you put a black Democrat next to J.B. Pritzker and he's well articulates black issues, can you imagine the Channel 2, 5, 7, and 9 debate when they say, J.B., what happened to cannabis? J.B., what have you done for black people? What if the candidate don't follow with the rules and he always pivot back to black? Mm-hmm. See, Obama did the same thing. I don't want to use the Obama, but I'm going to use it. He went around the black establishment and went directly to the people. And by the time he had presented himself, the black establishment was behind they was all on board with Hillary. Mm-hmm. And my point is, when presented with a viable quality candidate, black folks will make the move outside of the party. I just feel like we haven't given them the candidates. We've always said, but. Like, we always say, we're going to accept this candidate even though.
Yep.
And we get mad because people acknowledge and see the flaws. The conscious people be like, oh, why your grandmama talk like that? But black folks in general want to be proud of and they feel like proximity to whiteness, whatever you want to call it. We have to, but do we want to win, or do we want to still be talking? We want to be seeing JB and his least presentable Negroes. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Some of y'all blew me today.
It's been a roller coaster.
But I'm going to tell you, all right, hard work with black folks. Ruthie, it's like, to me, I can't even believe, this is why I don't know what world I live in. I don't know what world I live in because even when you gave your word.
Man, just say I've been saying that for months. That's our problem. That don't mean nothing. And we got to get back to that.
Yeah, like but I feel like people are literally pretending like they weren't there. Like they didn't say don't do me. That's what's making me crazy. And then it's like I'm seeing all my other people jumping in and it's like, yo, sis, I was there when they just said.
You was literally there. Primary source.
Right.
Got it.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, I'm your host, Maze Jackson, for Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd. DJ Reese the Ruler. Todd, he might not be here next week. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze says, stay tuned. Up next, it's the Book of Dawn.
He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired.